Hi, welcome to the Gastroenteritis Blues. My name is Steve Libman, joined as always. The full group is with us today, everybody. Joined by Dan Volpone, Emily Cannell, and producer Drew Peltzman is also here under the cloak of darkness. I ask you both, if you could insert yourself to one reality TV show right now, what would it be? Emily, your eyes lit up.
It's a fun question, but I need to think
Thank you so much. Put your hand over your face. I'll just to let you stall and think about it. I say this because Gabrielle and I are in the midst of watching The Circle. I don't know if you guys watch that, but we're watching The Circle right now. It seems like a lot of fun to be on, although the people take it so seriously.
But you win money.
I know you win money, but what I mean is that they take the relationship so seriously, where they have one conversation and then they're like, I view Sasha as my sister, and how could I possibly block her? It's like, well, you just met her, so just
Have you watched other seasons of The Circle?
Yeah.
Or is this the first you've watched them?
No, we've watched them. Yeah.
Okay. I watched like the first two, and then I kind of
Emily's the reality TV queen. Like, she's the go-to for any reality TV talk.
I do watch a lot of reality TV.
So does one come to mind, Emily?
So my dream reality TV show to be on, it's impossible at this point in my life, but is MTV's The Challenge.
Oh, a lot of fun.
I want to do all the challenges. I want to like live in the house.
That's a great one.
I want to vote people out. Like, it's like
that's a
mix
really
of
good one.
Survivor and just like those challenges look so fun, and so it's like one of my favorite shows, and I would die to be on it, but I'm never going on another show, and now I'm too old, so I will just live vicariously through it.
Is CT still on it? I used to love him.
He was on a few seasons ago. He won. Spoiler alert. Johnny Bananas is still on it.
Oh wow. Yeah.
He's 40 years old. He just had a birthday on the show.
Wow.
Yep.
That was a very fun show. Dan, do you know any reality TV shows, and which one would you like to be on?
Well, I have a question for Emily about your question. Are there any reality TV shows where they let you bring your phone?
Not really.
Real Housewives, they all have their phones on that.
Maybe I'll go on that. If I have to go on like a game show type one, maybe Big Brother, but I don't even watch it. The only reality show I really watch is The Bachelor.
You watched Claim to Fame, Dan. You like
that was a good one, but I don't have a famous sibling.
Yeah.
But and I don't know that many. Like, there's probably some I'd like that I'm missing, but I don't think I could do The Bachelor, because I don't think, like, even if I were single, I don't think I could like buy into like, I'm gonna fall in love with this person in a month. Like, I think
I think you would though, because of all the dressing, like the way that they do it. I think that they probably incubate you in, because I think the same thing. But I think
don't
that they
do that. I don't want to be
in such a
brainwashed. Like, I don't want to be brainwashed into proposing to someone that is a terrible fit with me.
I think it's kind of worth it. You can get like super famous from that show and like make a lot of money. Like,
it becomes your job.
Sarah Hyland now, like, what
it's
a win
best
for
chance
him.
to turn it into a job, I think. But I don't know. Maybe maybe if I go into it thinking like I need to survive like 4 weeks, and be likable for 4 weeks, and then I can parlay that into some kind of very easy job, I would do that.
Yeah. Well, or you get on the show and you just promote the things you're actually interested in. It's like you get on the show and it's like, listen, I do love you, but what I really love is the Gastroenteritis Blues, available on Spotify. So can we talk more about that? And she's like, but we're meeting my parents today. And you're like, but did you hear this episode with Dave Rudder from Jeopardy, or whatever his name was? I don't know.
Brad Rudder.
Nice guy. Like them.
Matt James was hanging out with a friend of the pod, Zach Clark, around Philadelphia this past weekend.
We can have him make the call. He married the girl who went to that party, and now I think she's back, and it's totally fine. And I think that she paid her dues. I don't think they're married.
I think they're just dating.
Well, he had the big beard, and then he took the beard off, and he was like, "We're back."
That's true, but that was his breakup beard. I think he was sad.
Yeah. Classic move.
Seems happy.
The Sixers this week, they had 4 games. They started the week, they lost to the Pelicans. Then they beat Oklahoma City. They beat the Pelicans when they played them again. Then they beat, most recently, they beat Indiana. All right, now, how do we want to talk about this? Joel missed the last game. He has a hurt foot that somebody took a video. Did you guys see this? Somebody took we can talk about this a little bit later, but a creep took a video of him like through their car window, and then Joel was in the window of a hospital doing something.
What is this video?
Yeah, there's a video that was in the Liberty Ballers Slack. They think that he was there to get like an X-ray or an MRI. All the reporters are saying that Joel is mainly fine and he's just going to miss a couple of days, but there was some concern chatting about that. But there's like a weird video floating around the internet of Joel, and people thought he was in a boot. Anyway, the games this week, the main thing was that they played the Pelicans twice. Zion is really good. He got hurt in the second game that they played against the Pelicans. PJ Tucker just cannot guard him at all. I mean, basically nobody can, but it feels like there are certain players that we got PJ Tucker to guard. I don't know if Zion's one of them, but I would like PJ to guard some of them. And I don't know that he has yet.
Every time he takes a shot from like 8 to 10 feet, it is cringy bad. It's like nowhere near going in bad.
Somebody did today a side to side of PJ's stats from this year and last year, and they're pretty much the same, except he's taking like 1.5 fewer threes. And they're like, he is not declining. And it's just like, you need to watch him. Just watch him and tell me he's the same player, and he's not. And he's probably not healthy, and that's why he should be sitting for a while. And
he did like step up in the playoffs a bit last year, but it's like, if this is, and again, like it kind of comes down to like, it's Daryl's job to know what we're getting with these guys. And like, not only did we use the full MLE on PJ Tucker, we also ended up giving up a second-round pick to get him because of blatant tampering.
And House.
Well, and we gave up 2 second-round picks. One was for House, who is unplayable, and Tucker, who is currently awful. And I think, it's one thing for the three of us to say, the Sixers were linked to PJ Tucker. What do you think? And we say, oh, he looked really good in the playoffs. Joel liked him. Great, let's get him. 3-year deal. He'll be 40 at the end of it. It won't look good, but maybe he can give us 2 good years. It's another to like be the one who's like in the position to figure out, is he healthy? In the position to like kind of suss out what he has left, and like, is he capable of like actually carrying a starting role like he's being asked to do on this team versus coming off the bench like he did, in the past. And I just don't, I don't see how we make this mistake with one of our really last remaining assets to improve the team. It's very discouraging. I hope he turns it around. I hope, he gets healthier. But he's kind of looked like this all year before the dead hand or whatever. And, I couldn't help but like find it very, very noticeable that the 2 seasons that tweet compared were the season he was on the Bucks and the season he was here, and not the year of Miami and this year. And it's like, well, the Bucks year was like, he was kind of helpful. He was helpful in the playoffs. He played some good defense, but that year he was like, I think he was traded to the Bucks during that season, if I recall correctly. And it was like, remember at the time, a lot of people thinking like, this is a huge overpay. Like people weren't even sure PJ Tucker had anything left because he was really struggling at the beginning of that season. I'm going to look that up right now. Yeah, he started that season in Houston and was like, that was not considered a good season for PJ Tucker by any stretch. And so like, I don't think like, and the hope was, right, like he played well in Miami last year. That was just a down year. But even so, why would we compare him to like the worst year he's had to date and then say, oh, he's not declining, and just skip over his better year last year? Like, I think that is a really weird way to look at things. Like that person must really like PJ, because like you said, just watch him play. Like he's been bad, and the numbers bear that out. Like, they have been better when he's not playing. They've actually been better when Matisse is playing.
Emily, since we're on this, what are your thoughts on PJ so far? They're clearly watching his minutes a lot. I think he's played like 18 and 20 minutes the last few nights. What are your thoughts on PJ so far overall?
Yeah, he's not been good, but I feel like we've, rehashed that a bunch. I hope he kind of returns to form. I think all of us were like we thought it was like an overpay, but like pretty happy to have him on the team when they signed him, like wanted his, defense and aggressiveness. But I feel when you're not at full health, which I don't think that anyone can say that he is, including him, the coaching staff, anyone, it's like hard to be that guy. Especially, I'm happy they're limiting his minutes. We don't need, if he does get healthy and does return to form, we don't want his like 37-year-old legs to be dead, include like in addition to his hand, because Doc insists on playing him 35 minutes a night. So it's fine by me. Yeah, I just want him to get healthy. I think they should rest him, honestly.
Yeah, I think that just like putting him on the shelf for a little while is, yeah, obviously he's not been good. I think that this could totally circle around if he just plays like himself in the playoffs, and it would be, this year's $10 million would have been totally worth it. So we'll see. I certainly don't think he's going to get traded at the deadline. We've got a little while to go before that, but he hasn't been good.
Would want him right now, honestly.
Yeah, no, I mean, if they did, they would just be betting on him being himself in the playoffs, and I feel like the Sixers are just as happy to do that, so we'll see. These games this week, yeah, I mean, it was sort of more of the same. Joel was good when he played in these games. Harden was mainly good. Anything from the Pelicans game, that first Pelicans game, Jose Alvarado, I love that guy. He's great. He really got under Harden's skin. Harden made some big shots in that game, but they just sort of couldn't get over the hump very much in that one. Oklahoma City game, find me a person who watched that game. Did you guys watch the New Year's Eve Oklahoma City game? Don't.
I watched some of it. I didn't go out until
That's
like
fair.
10:30. So
what happened to that?
I watched football. I was watching.
Oh wait, no, that was. I'm sorry, that was not. Was that New Year's Eve?
Yeah.
Oh, that was the second half of the back-to-back. So they played the 30th also. That was the Pelicans game.
Right.
And the Oklahoma City game, yeah, that was like mostly over by the time I saw a lot of that, but they were up so big, I wasn't paying a ton of attention.
Yeah, Tobias had a good game in that one, from what I understand. But yeah, there was also football on. The Indiana game, Joel didn't play. Indiana's a good team. They're just good. But at first I thought it was sort of fake, like they would taper off, but they didn't trade Turner or Hield, and they're just good. Their young backcourt is really good. And Harden, they were really trying to target him on defense down the stretch, and they got him a fair amount, but I have to give him credit. He really stood in there and made some plays. In overtime, he missed 2 free throws, and I was like, yikes, this looks really bad. And then came right down the court and got a huge block on the other end. And I think that that's impressive, like stick-to-itiveness from him. And I saw him really standing in there on defense when he certainly could have bailed. And we've seen him bail, frankly, in the past. And some huge, they were down 4 with a minute left after they coughed it up like in embarrassing fashion at the end of that regulation. Maxey with a huge steal, and then they just made some plays. Exciting, win without Joel against a really solid team. So that was a nice win. What do you think, Emily?
Yeah, it was. They did the Sixers thing where they blow the lead that feels comfortable-ish, and then, but I continue to say this. I've been more encouraged this year. I feel like after they've blown the lead, more times, I don't know if it's more times than not, but more times than in previous years, I feel like they claw back, where I feel like in the past they would just be like, well, this is another one that we lost, like, whoops, sorry about it. So it's kind of reassuring. It was this fun Montrezl Harrell game.
Oh yeah,
he was not good. He was fun to watch.
Absolutely.
You know, Miles Turner definitely has got like size on him. We're playing like this tiny center, but he hung in there. I don't know how many blocks he had. He had that like big bucket near the end of, I think, regulation. When my dad texted me and said, I think Montrezl Harrell seems like a quiet guy. So yeah, I thought it was a fun game. It was a good one.
Yeah. What about you, Dan?
Yeah, good win. I mean, I agree with what Emily said. It does feel like, they've, at least since the terrible, terrible start, and since, they had Harden, Maxey, and Joel all out, when the bench guys really stepped up, it feels like since, the main guys have come back, there's been, at least, noticeably less, head hanging when things go poorly. They had some big comebacks, and they had, just some tough wins, like some games where it was tough at the end against a team maybe it shouldn't have been tough at the end against, or like maybe if everyone was healthy, it wouldn't have been tough at the end against. And they've hung in there, and I think that is encouraging. I know the Pacers were really upset about the last 2-minute report I saw in the.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
I don't care.
Go ahead and be upset.
Yeah,
doesn't do anything to me.
In their opinion, they might have won, but we got
our guy Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, who had 71 points this week in a game.
There you go. In my opinion, he had 60.
And no one noticed because of, which I do want to talk about later, or I just mentioned it. I just want to mention real quick. That made me think of it because it was the same night as DeMar Hamlin's injury.
Oh my God.
DeMar Hamlin, who went to Pitt, and I remember, cheering him on at Pitt. And I just want to, mention, because I know not everyone who's a basketball fan or a Sixers fan is an NFL fan, and they might have heard what happened and not what's happened since. So the updates we got today were, he's able to communicate by writing. He's now awake and like holding the hands of family members, and he's like neurologically intact, which is all great news. His breathing's improving. So I just wanted to mention the great news we got there, because that made me really happy to hear today.
Agree. And just an unbelievably
that was the weirdest segue, but I just remember watching that game and getting like the Shams alert that Donovan Mitchell had 71 points and being like, who the hell cares right now?
Yeah. I mean, it was one of those things where I was about to turn on the Monday Night Football game, and I saw on Twitter everybody was like, stop the game, like there's no reason to play this game. And I was like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. And
I turned it on and I heard Buck and Aikman sort of giving the very somber updates about what had happened, and just unbelievably scary, and happy to hear that we're getting these kind of updates, and hope that he'll be out of the woods soon in terms of the gravest scenarios and all that kind of stuff. So
I've just been searching Hamlin on Twitter and refreshing nonstop the last 3 days. So this morning, to finally get some good news, I've been able to feel a little bit better and not, be so obsessed with the situation, because I just wanted the news that he was okay, and okay to me was at least able to communicate and breathing better, and able to be awake and with his family. And so it's definitely great to hear that all of those things have finally come after the last few days.
Yeah, I'm with you. Good time for a break. Here's a break. All right, we're back. Now, to wrap up from this week, and in at least the next game that we have here coming up this week with the Sixers, Joel is going to miss his next game against the Bulls with the foot thing. Do you guys have any worry about the Joel current day-to-day injury, which Doc says is effectively nothing, and Kyle Neubeck said today that if this was essentially a real game, he would be playing, and that everybody has told him is essentially nothing. Emily, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I'm not that concerned about it. The idea that if it mattered, he could play. Like if it was the playoffs, he could play through it. He's been out in plenty of playoff games, so I'll take him being available in a playoff style or a big game like that. I think it's still early in the season. It's not even the All-Star break yet. So they're just like managing him conservatively. I'm fine with
it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not super worried. It's not the foot that he, broke a couple times before his career even started. But I mean, it's always a little worrying when it's Joel Embiid and you're talking about injuries. Obviously, we're not really, privy to his medical information, and even if we were, wouldn't really know what to do with it. But I'm just hoping it's something he, recovers from with a couple games rest. I'm hoping it's something that doesn't linger. But we'll see. I mean, the fact that he could play through it, to me, it doesn't rule out the possibility of like maybe this lingers a bit and takes a bit of time to get better. I mean, what do I know? I'll be happy to hear that if it's not bothering him at all in a few days, that would be great news. I'm not panicked or anything, of course, but with Joel's health, it's always a little worry.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather him have nothing. I'd rather he just be missing games due to like whatever they call it now, injury management, or I don't know, whatever they say.
Rest.
Yeah.
Load management.
Yeah. But in terms of like sleuthing to figure out if he was at the hospital or if he has a cousin in town who got sick, I don't, and that's why he was in the hospital. It seems like being more concerned than what they're telling us right now would be a choice. So I'm just going to choose to take it at face value. And if he's more hurt, then I'll be more concerned. Like, I don't really need that in my life to be like, right. Oh my God, he's fucked, dude. Like we're fucked.
The Sixers bother us
day to day. He's day to day, but I bet it's fucked. Like I don't like no thanks.
They're saying day to day, but like, can you imagine if he just is out for the year? Like,
I mean, listen, it's not impossible, but until that happens, I'll be devastated. But why be devastated now? I don't feel like doing that. All right. The first update on All-Star voting is out. Have you guys seen this?
I have.
Emily's nodding. All right. Well, I'm going to quiz you on it. Emily, who is currently 6th in Eastern Conference front court?
I don't know.
Well, you got to get it. Who's 6th?
Have to get it. I have to get it, or what?
You have to get it, or else you get kicked out of the Zoom.
Oh my God.
You have to get the player and the vote total within 10.
Oh, okay. Well, it's been real. Thank you.
All right. Well, we were looking for Pascal Siakam. He is 6th.
Damn it! I was gonna say that.
Yeah, tip of your tongue. Anyway, right now.
Wait, give me one.
All right, I'll give you one. I'll give you one equally as hard. Who is leading the front court in the West?
In the West?
That's not equally as hard.
LeBron James.
All right, that's good.
Emily, you should have studied, really. I mean,
now, Drew, pop on. We're gonna invite Drew to pop on in the interest of fairness.
Who's leading the front court in the East?
No,
Drew, I haven't looked at these yet, so this is gonna be completely.
Okay, Drew, who's 9th in guards in the West?
There we go.
We need this within 100,000 votes.
9th guard in the West. I'm gonna just go with my gut. Klay Thompson with like 400.
That's a good guess.
No, but you got the conference right. I'm looking for Austin Reeves.
Yeah.
I love a freak of a white guy on the Lakers, so he's on the ballot there. Anyway,
I did the best of that.
Joel Embiid is 3rd in the front court. Now, if this bears out, you get 3 front court starters. So Joel ranks above Jason Tatum. Currently, he's outranking him by about 50,000 votes.
Yeah, but the media is not voting for Joel.
That's the problem. The media is not voting for Joel over Tatum. So we'll see. But this is like 50%, and then there's players and media, right?
Yes.
So I don't know how it's going to work, but I think that we'll see. This is good though. And then Harden is also third in guards. He outranks Jaylen Brown by how much is that? About 100,000 votes. Some other notable numbers here: Steph Curry leads the guards in the West. Kevin Durant leads the front court in the East. Kyrie Irving leads the guards in the East. A lot of Kyrie Irving fans. On a sort of similar subject, Derrick Rose, 9th for guards in the East. Great. Let me see. Are there any other fun ones? Oh yeah, Kevon Looney's on the ballot. I think that's very fun. He's 10th for front court in the West.
I think it's great that Joel has more votes than Kyrie Irving in general.
He does. Yeah, Joel currently has about 200,000 more votes than Kyrie.
Do people just vote for the front court? There's way more front court votes. Although I guess the jump from 4 to 5 is a lot bigger in the front
remember,
court.
you don't have to fill out an exact ballot. You can just like tweet it.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. Anthony Davis currently has more votes than Zion Williamson, which I think is, I guess, just a tenure thing.
It's a Lakers thing.
It's a Lakers thing. Exactly. There's Lakers, LeBron, AD, Austin Reeves.
LeBron,
our guy. Russell
Westbrook, not a
Westbrook.
top 10 player anymore.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook is not a top 10 player anymore.
No. Nick Claxton on the Nets, number 9 for front court. He's certainly handsome. I'll tell you that much.
He is handsome. He's very handsome. Oh, here it is.
Look at this.
Oh, that's nice.
It's for the YouTube. It's for the listening audience. Pull up the YouTube. It's right here. And yeah, now you can see it. Paolo Banchero, he's on there. No Ben Simmons. He did sink a free throw though. He's up to 41%. The Nets lost though. I'll tell you that much. They won 11 in a row, and then they fucking lost. So
is he actually at 41%?
Yeah, he's at 41%. It was his first made free throw since November 25th or something.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How many had he taken?
Oh, certainly not many, but he hadn't made one since November.
Why are they doing hack? Like, I know it's regular season, but you think the Pacers who have young guys who really want to win or something, are they not going to hack a Ben?
It's a great question. No, but I don't think teams have been doing it because he hasn't had a game, I don't think, where he shot 20 free throws.
Right. But you would think
junk it up.
You have such a good, so good off, take the ball out of, Durant and Irving's hands and try to make Simmons make free throws.
I agree. Why hasn't, I don't know.
I feel like it's no one cares enough in the regular season.
Well, the Sixers play the Nets on the 25th of January.
So funny. 20
days from now. We'll see. All right. Speaking of the Nets, let's go around the East. Let's go to the old standings. It was a fun little game I gave us, huh?
That was fun.
All right. Currently, Sixers are 5th. They're 2.5 games out of first. Where are the standings? Okay. And the Celtics are currently first. They're only 5-5 over the last 10, as are the Bucks. They're tied with the Nets in the 2-3 there. And then the Sixers are just one game behind the Cavs, who are currently in 4th. And that's really the dividing line. It's the 1 through the 5. And then the Knicks and the Pacers are after the Sixers, 3 games behind them. What are your thoughts on the East right now? Who would you still say the Celtics are the current favorite in the East, or how high do you think the Sixers can get here in the East, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, I think Boston's got to be the favorite. They're still in first. They won the conference last year. They did pick up Brogdon, so they're, arguably made some improvements. And, even despite the struggles, the loss to, the really bad loss to Oklahoma City, where they gave up 150 points. At one point they lost 5 of 6 going into Christmas. they're still 26-12. They've lost 2 straight games, so they were 26-10. Yeah, I don't know. They're up big on Dallas right now. So that'll be 27-10. They're the favorite.
27-12. Yeah.
And 12, I'm sorry. The Sixers, I think, can pass. Like, realistically, I could see them passing anyone but Boston. I mean, they're only 2.5 back of Boston. They could, right? In the playoffs, who knows? The Sixers haven't been great in the playoffs, but it's only 7 games. Teams figure things out. Maybe they can turn something around there. But yeah, I mean, I could realistically see, the Sixers finishing as high as 2 in the East. I mean, they've been playing a lot better lately. They started 1-3 and they were 12-12. So they're, 11-2 since then. They're on a great run. The 2 losses were in a row. So, yeah, I mean, I think, there's no reason they can't pass Cleveland or Brooklyn or Milwaukee, in my view.
Emily, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Dan. I think the East is kind of wide open right now. I mean, I think that the Celtics have made a case for being the favorite in the East, but I don't think that it's still so early in the season. 2.5 games back is literally nothing. The Sixers can go on another 10-game winning streak, and then the Celtics lose some games, and then there's a new conversation to be had. So I just think it's sure we can why can't we be second? Why can't we be first? I really don't see there's any reason why we can't. We need to do better on the road. We kind of suck on the road. Everyone does, but road record's trash.
Yeah, the Nets right now are 12-8 on the road. The Sixers 7-9. But yeah, I would still think that the Sixers, the Celtics and the Bucks thing is weird because they've sort of not been very good since their super hot start when they started 9-0 or something, and then they've really tailed off since. Middleton's super hurt and hasn't really been healthy all year. And I, in terms of playoff equity, you'd certainly put the Celtics and Bucks above the Sixers. I wouldn't blame anyone picking the Celtics and Bucks above the Sixers. And if I were impartial, I'd probably do that, But outside of that, I don't buy the Brooklyn thing as a sustainable thing. I just think they're going to combust. I know how much talent they have. I certainly don't buy Simmons. I think Kyrie is a on Twitter away from blowing things up any minute. And also I just don't, I think you can target him in the playoffs, and his last 2 or 3 playoff appearances have not been good. I don't see it. Durant is incredible and I believe in everything about him, but I just don't think that they'll sustain certainly what they're doing, but just even stay above the Sixers. Cavs are really good. I don't want that 4-5 at all. I like them. I mean, I'd be fine with it, and I think the Sixers would get out of that series, but I just think it would be a pain in the ass. Embiid always plays really well against Jarrett Allen. I don't think he has any issues with him at all. I just think that they're good and have shot makers, and that would just be a long and annoying series. What about the West? What do you guys? Is there anybody that you like out West? The Nuggets are currently tied for the lead in the West with the Grizzlies. Nikola Jokic.
They're half a game back right now because the Grizzlies already won today. But if the Nuggets beat the Clippers, they'll be tied again.
Got it. Pelicans all the way up there as well. I love the Pelicans. They're a lot of fun. But now Zion's out for a while because he hurt his hamstring against the Sixers. And then you've got the Mavericks, the Kings, the Warriors are all the way down at 9th right now. They're only a game over 500. The Suns are falling fast without Booker. It's I don't really have a clear favorite. I mean, the Nuggets are really good and they're very deep. Who do you like in the West, Emily?
Yeah, I guess I would say the Nuggets, but I don't find them to be very fun. I think the Grizzlies are a very fun team. They're fun to watch. Obviously, Ja's great. But it's weird. All of the old power players in the West are kind of falling by the wayside, and we have all these new teams. But I don't know. Like, does anyone really getting like fired up for a Nuggets Celtics finals? No, that's
well, no, that
boring.
would be hell.
The West is like none of outside of the Pelican. I guess maybe Memphis, like real weird, like smaller market teams that like are doing well. Maybe I'm just thinking of Not that Denver's a smaller market, but I don't know. I just hate the Nuggets. I don't like Jokic. I don't want them to do good. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I consider them smaller markety, like they're like Harrisburg.
Well, they are. None of their fans can watch their games.
It's true.
Yeah.
You don't get much smaller than that.
Yeah, I mean, I still lean towards because of how little I believe in the teams currently at the top of the West. I would put Phoenix and Golden State still right there. Like I could see both of them, like they're both missing important players. I could see both of them stepping up. Obviously, the Pelicans are missing Ingram. I'd want to see, what things look like when he's back. Like if they integrate him well, then they could be very scary. You can't ignore Denver right now, but we'll have to see where that goes. I don't want to see them succeed. And I don't believe in the Grizzlies too much. I don't know. Maybe they could prove me wrong. I'm honestly not a huge Morant guy. Like he's great, but I don't think he's that good to be the best player with that surrounding. Not that it's a bad surrounding cast. Like they're deep, but there's not like I don't think like another top 20 player on that team to really like elevate them. And I don't think he's good enough to like. They just seem to be like he's their star, but he's not a top star. And they have a really deep surrounding cast, but there's not like another real star around him. I just kind of have a hard time seeing a team like that making a very deep run. I mean, obviously, like the West is kind of looking like horrific right now. With like right now, Portland's in the playoffs and the Kings are 20-17.
But 2017 has them like what, fourth?
They're fifth, yeah.
Fifth, yeah.
So I mean, who knows? It's possible that like based on they don't really do it for me.
Who would you guys pick to win the title right now?
Boston.
Emily?
Yeah. Maybe I guess Boston. I don't know.
I think I would say Milwaukee, but it's either them or Boston.
And Milwaukee has been not really healthy all year, but
right. But it's
Boston
me like projecting them getting healthy.
Yeah.
Then we pick these teams though, and I'm just like, I don't know. The Sixers could be
assholes.
either of those teams. Yeah. But the Sixers could be either of those teams in a 7-game series. They really could.
Well, they definitely could beat the Bucks. I have no doubt about that.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, I hesitate to say them, but I'm also not going to say the Sixers for God's sake.
No, you can't say the same.
No. I mean, look at them.
The Sixers head coach, Doc Rivers, apparently he said, what did he say? That the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl? He said...
They said they're going to be in it.
Be in the Super Bowl?
Be in it. I wish he would have said nothing. I'd rather him say nothing about the Eagles.
Yeah.
Don't say anything. That'd be great.
Relax. You two relax. They're going to be in the Super Bowl. It's a guarantee. It's a guarantee. They're fine. They really are. With my limited football now.
What was the context? Does anybody have the context? I don't have the tweet. Who's got the tweet?
I don't regularly watch what Doc says in press conferences. I really save my Doc stuff for his CNN appearances. So I try not to overload myself on Doc. Just the big entertainment news appearances.
DP, do you have the Doc doing the what are we talking about? Him talking about the Super Bowl. He's got it.
Yeah, so the video, it seemed like it was just like nonchalant, like Doc, it seemed like Doc was just sitting down for the press conference, and it seemed like a reporter must have gotten news about like some bad news about the Eagles. I have no clue, and I don't think there was anything that bad, but it seemed like They got worked up. Doc was like, relax, relax. They're going to the Super Bowl. It'll all work out. And then he just did the rest of his press conference.
Well,
at least Doc is not involved with the team. That makes me more confident that they're going to the Super Bowl.
That's true. That's true. But Sixers are on a fucking roll, Dan.
They're playing well.
Maybe if Sirianni had,
and they have a very
gusto like Doc.
I mean, March is hell, but they have a very easy schedule for a bit now. Like they can absolutely make a play for top of the conference, at least going into March.
It's true. We want to do a quick Eagles temperature check before we head into the last week of the season and before we go to our predictions here. How do we feel about that?
Let's do it.
Listen, Eagles need to win this last game against the Giants in order to secure the number 1 seed. It sounds like Jalen Hurts is going to play after Gardner Minshew really shot the fucking bed last week.
Well, he's bad.
He's not good.
Yeah.
He's more of a meme than anything. But I enjoy him being around and being funny, but I'd rather him not play.
Yeah.
A little banged up though. Lane Johnson broke his whole body, but he's coming back for the playoffs. Excellent Christmas album out of him and the boys. Loved it. CJ Gardner-Johnson apparently coming back, if not this week, then certainly for the playoffs.
Hopefully Maddox will be back for the playoffs.
Yeah, I hope so, but he's got some weird thing. But especially if they get the bye, I think he'll be back.
Toe thing.
Right. How do we feel? I don't care if the Giants play their starters or not. I think they're fake good, and I think the Eagles can beat them if Jalen plays.
Well, Giants aren't playing their starters.
No, I don't think so. I mean, that would be so stupid.
Well, and Vegas isn't putting the line at Eagles -14 by accident. They don't make mistakes like that.
How do they know all this shit?
They know. They have people like there. I mean, I would guess for every Shams, Vegas has a bunch of people. Like they probably have 10 people doing that shit.
But the day that Jalen got hurt, the line for the Dallas game was moving and moving and moving like crazy before any reporter had anything. And everybody was like, they're sitting Jalen or Jalen got hurt. And then it came out. It's wild.
They know. Yeah. Well, you look at even it's not just injuries or trades. Like if you look at a line that is shockingly close in a game, you think, why isn't this team favored by way more? That team loses all the time. It's like, oh, let me hop on.
Yeah.
Or when Vegas is, fading the public, when the public is all over one side and Vegas keeps inching the bet even further and further, as to, try to not have equal, amount of money on each side of the line, whatever side they're on is going to win. Like they don't lose. They just know, they have people that know everything.
Anyway, EC, do the Eagles get the win? And do they cover and recapture the vibes this weekend?
I think that they win. I don't know if they cover. And I don't know if they recapture the vibes, which is the worst part of it all.
That's
the vibes need to be.
That's the biggest question.
The vibes need to be recaptured, but the past 2 losses haven't really meant anything in terms of seeding or whatever, but I just feel like the vibes were off, and I don't know if they can get them back in this one game. I think it might take a playoff win to get the vibes back. So that first playoff game might be stressful, but I think they win. So I think we'll have a week to rest and see what goes on.
Dan, what do you think?
I think they win. I think the vibes are Jalen Hurts, so if he plays, I think they're back. I think that is, and I think that has an impact on the defense, not just the offense. I think if you're talking vibes of the team, he's having a quarterback like that out there, having the confidence in him, I think makes all the difference. So I'm honestly not too worried about where the Eagles are at. They obviously have to win, but the Giants don't seem to care. If Hurts is back, that's great news. And, the bye would be great for the Eagles with all the injuries, like we mentioned. As far as do they cover, I would not touch an NFL 2-touchdown spread ever. That is, I don't know. I don't know who the Giants backups are. So It's not something I would ever bet on. To me, that's not a line. That's one of the times where no bet is the best bet.
All right. Before we get to our standings and predictions, my last question for Emily. You are playing for your life on this podcast. Who has more votes at the moment in the All-Star ballot?
Damn it.
Kawhi Leonard or LaMelo Ball?
LaMelo Ball.
Right now, LaMelo Ball has 299,111. Nope. 299,113 votes.
Okay.
Kawhi Leonard has, drum roll, Drew, 303,477. Emily, you can text us your predictions.
Because I'm dead.
Goodbye. All right, Emily, what are the standings?
Oh, now you need me. I see how it is.
I don't want to hear the attitude from you, Emily. You were undefeated this week.
I was undefeated this week, Dan. Thanks for reminding everybody. Yeah, so I went 4-0. So, and then you guys had the same things. You went 2-2.
Yeah. We just picked the Pelicans games. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So I am now 21-16, and you guys are 17-20.
Okay, you have like a 4-game lead, right? Something like
Yep.
that. All right, this week, here we go.
That's how it works.
Dan, shut it. This week we have.
Oh, we have a Thursday game this week.
You're goddamn right we do. See you there. This week we've got.
Oh, actually, you won't see me there. I have a Friday exam. I can't do a Thursday night pod.
Emily?
I don't know. That's late.
Well, we're gonna
Drew?
figure out this.
We'll have to find a guest.
Me and Steve are gonna have a really in-depth conversation about whatever happens.
Oh, about a fucking OKC game? You're shit.
It's gonna be like double OT too.
Listen, we better get some stupid. Never mind. I'm not gonna make it. Never mind. All right. On Friday, we have the Chicago Bulls without Joel. Then there is an away game that was at home. Then an away game at the Pistons. So open the picture back up.
That's Saturday.
Then home against the Pistons, and then home against OKC. So Bulls, then away in Detroit, home in Detroit, home against Detroit, and then home against OKC. Bulls, Detroit, OKC. That's 4 wins.
Emily has to go first. She's first place.
Whoop. I take back what I said then.
I think that's 4 wins. So.
All right. Well, I got to make a move here. But losing, all of these teams are so bad. It's just not, it's like a, if I think they're going to go 3-1, it's still a 1 in 4 chance of getting that right. And then I could end up going 2-2. So I got to be patient here and go 4 wins.
Yeah. All right.
This is going to be a really boring week for movement in the standings.
It's a clean sweep. Well, thank you for listening. All 4 of us will talk to you next Thursday, right after the game. We really look forward to it. All 3 of us. All 4 of us. Can't wait.
I can pre-record some stuff if you want to play it.
No, you'll be there. Steve J. Littman, Third and Girl, Gastro Blues Pod, DA Pels 13. We love you.
YouTube.
YouTube is the Gastro Bluesies. Come listen whenever you're ready. And go listen and watch there. That's it. Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy New Year. Go Birds.
Be safe and be great. Go Birds.
I love you so, yeah, and I never